let's talk about one of my favorite topics, choice of entity. Once you've gone through lots of tax rules, choice of entity becomes one of the most interesting topics. You've understood about C corporations, S corporations, and partnerships and the different tax consequences of these different types of entities. Now what we're going to do is we're going to look at what the different advantages and disadvantages are with respect to these entities. And the idea is that going out in practice, one of the biggest things that we do for clients is we determine what type of entity makes the most sense. We usually start off and ask, does a C corporation make sense? We're going to go through in videos and content, and we're going to look at when a C corporation makes the most sense. A lot of times, a C corporation does not make the most sense. Why? Because C corporations are subject to double taxation. There might be some instances, though, where a C corporation does make sense from a time value of money standpoint because you're able to time out the first and second level of taxation. Those different levels at the owner level and at the entity level and at the owner level. So keep that in mind. That's the first question we ask. And there's other reasons why we might want to be a C corporation. Usually though, we don't start off as a C corporation because there's lots of uncertainty. And when it comes to uncertainty, I've got my crystal ball here. You see my costume, right? I got my wizard robes, got all this stuff, and I've got crystal ball. I'm looking at the crystal ball and I cannot see into the future, right? So a lot of the questions you're going to see a lot of the questions you're going to look at deal with what's going to happen in the future. Are there going to be more owners that are going to join? Are we going to have this issue? What about that issue? And a lot of times, if we had a crystal ball that worked, it would really solve our problems. So I've got my crystal ball, can't really see anything. I'm having trouble seeing. So I got my wand. Oh wait, this is not my real wand. This is just a stick I found out in the woods. So put that down, and right here, I've got my real wand. So we're going to boom, turn that on, and let's see. Can we see anything into the future? Unfortunately, still can't. Even with a little use and help of magic, still can't see into the future. So that would be something that would solve our problems if we had a crystal ball that actually worked. Unfortunately, we do not. And that's a real pain. So really what it comes down to is S corporation and partnership for a lot of entities. And we're going to be going in a deep dive, looking at advantages and disadvantages of the two and making differences. Now, when we learned about partnerships and S corporations, some of these things were identified and other things were not. So now we're going to look at those things. And this is going to be very, very important for practice, for CPA exam, for different legal type areas, all these different things. Very, very important. So please make sure that you enjoy this topic, you learn a lot, and again, remember that there's lots of uncertainty in this area, but it's an area that's very, very fun and interesting.